Not much information.
Okay, it seems we're going to go live now to East Lansing with Mouthwords, Sociologist, Dr. Jim Byjim on the phone. Jim, are you there?
These are the true truths, the real realities. This is Mouthwords with Jim Mazner.
Welcome to Mouthwords, the self-proclaimed world's greatest podcast. Our show this week features senior political correspondent Kevin Singer and his thoughts on Barack Obama. Also, Jim Byjim returns with some jokes from his personal collection. These features and many more throughout this variety half hour. I'm Jim Mazner, your host. Stay tuned. But first, the news. The CIA's use of the controversial interrogation tactic waterboarding has been crowding American politics since the agency was accused of using near-torture techniques on terrorism suspects. The FBI is investigating as to whether the CIA destroyed several videotapes of interrogations using these methods, and on Friday the Justice Department reported that they are launching their own ethics probe into the matter, which could result in new restrictions on the now 7 years young war on terror. The CIA is not discouraged, however. They've moved on to a new interrogation technique, this one nicknamed Ice Cream. It revolves around the common theme of mental disturbance through audio and visual programming, followed by a period of, quote, extreme kicking. A retail chain in Great Britain found themselves the topic of controversy last week after releasing a bed marketed towards 6-year-old girls called the Lolita Mid-Sleeper. The issue, of course, is that the product shares its name with a popular novel and subsequent films whose plot focus on the narrator's sexual relationship with his 12-year-old stepdaughter. Employees of the Woolworth chain claimed ignorance, saying they had to look up the novel on Wikipedia. Quote, "But we certainly know who she is now," a spokesperson said. Similar Wikipedia searches have led to the recall of several other Woolworth products, including the Little Stalin Gulag playset, the Pol Pot Pot's Dishpan collection, and Charles Manson Crazy Juice. In medical news, Minneapolis-based researchers have discovered that urinary tract infections, or UTIs, may come from household pets. Dr. James R. Johnson says that E. coli strains within a household may cause the infections, based on a study that collected information from 63 households and found that 152 people, 48 dogs, 26 cats, and 2 other animals had stool samples that tested positive for E. coli. 5 of the humans had UTIs. Johnson claimed that simple changes in lifestyle could limit this interspecies exchange. He suggests careful screenings at the vet and use protection when fucking your dog. The 2008 presidential primaries are shaping up to be an epic race to the finish. Mouthwords political correspondent, warmonger, and father of 15 Kevin Murphy Singer gives us his thoughts on the new favorite in the race and America's darling Barack Obama.
Since Barack Obama's keynote address at the Democratic National Convention in 2004, the Democratic Party machinery, pundits on both the right and left, and the part of the American electorate that actually keeps itself abreast politically and gives a damn about who runs their country, has developed an impression of Barack Obama that is overwhelmingly positive. Obama is seen as an erudite, inspirational, and devoted civil servant, who, in that venue, on that day, showed a great deal of promise as a politician with vision. His message at the convention was unity. There's not a liberal America and a conservative America. There's only the United States of America, Obama exclaimed to the rapturous applause of party delegates who no doubt at that moment wished that the freshman senator were their candidate for president, rather than the dour, basset hound-faced John Kerry, who was about as exciting as a fart and whose speech is bordered on the miserable, making everyone in the vicinity consider self-immolation as a viable alternative to another one of his vacuous utterances. Well, in the interest of full disclosure, let me tell you that Barack Obama has that very same effect on me. In fact, I find him more offensive and boorish than John Kerry. How can this be? I am a college student. I am young, hopeful, energetic, a part of the American future Barack Obama claims will be a cornerstone in his administration. Heresy though it may seem, I find it insulting and a poor reflection of voting-age American youths to readily assume that we are by default big enough suckers to fall prey to this political purveyor of meaningless tripe. Obama's campaign has, thus far, been platitude heaped upon platitude, all boiled down to a Cliff's Notes slogan: hope. Oh yes, as an American youth, I hope Barack Obama is elected president so that 6.4% of my paycheck can be tossed into the black hole that is Social Security. As a young American, I want Barack Obama to be my president so that our national defense can be emasculated at a time when China, Russia, and Iran have shown their true colors as competitors and enemies of the United States of America. With Barack Obama as president, I can count on the cost of gasoline rising in accordance with his planned tax increases for oil companies. I can rely on the promise that a large, impersonal, and costly bureaucracy will mismanage my health care, and that as a part of Obama's quote-unquote community rate plan, my health insurance will be more expensive. Top-notch ideas all the way around, Barack. In the news last week was an article on the look and feel of a Barack Obama campaign stop. The article went on to rehash the now tired banalities about how Barack is an intensely interesting orator, a charmer, and most importantly, a candidate with outside the Beltway status, which has thus far made him impervious to several critiques his rivals have had to contend with, particularly with respect to Iraq war authorization. Barack stirred the crowd, traipsed about the stage, spoke of hope, the future, and unity. He reached into the crowd, nearly surfing atop their jubilant fingers. He smiled that big cocksure grin of his, which has somehow endeared him to so many, and then strode out, leaving them wanting more. The theme of the news article was, essentially, that a Barack Obama rally is really cool, or at least hipper than any campaign stop Mrs. Bill Clinton or John McCain could hope to muster. Why is that? The author of the article surmised that it had to do with the youthful makeup of the crowd. Obama thrives on such naivete, of course, especially that of the politically ignorant, i.e., the college masses, whose chronic misinformation and self-righteousness are more offensive than the essential oils of lavender and bergamot on all the brain-dead hippies to ever walk the earth. The desire of these youths to support a relatively young candidate, one who is a minority, hence hipper than thou, who listens to hip-hop and isn't afraid to throw the two-fingered peace sign like a real cool dude. Enter the hubbub about Barack Obama being the rightful heir to JFK's legacy. Well, let's look at it from a newer, more honest historical perspective. The Bay of Pigs fiasco, commitment of military advisors and millions of dollars into a small Southeast Asian country called Vietnam, affairs with Marilyn Monroe, an East German spy and a Soviet spy to boot, and precincts bought by Papa Joe Kennedy to help Jack beat Richard Nixon. Another thing, I've read a lot about Jack Kennedy. Jack Kennedy was, despite his flaws, a small government, low tax, pro-free market, and national defense-minded president. And you, sir, are no Jack Kennedy. Politics is one thing, America. Policy is another. Let your vote be swayed not by the affairs of the heart, but by the sober and logical head perched atop your shoulders. Hear me now. Barack Obama is a robot. A charmless, undeserving, conniving, flip, and pathetically outmoded robot. Programmed to spout trite bromides and nothing more. Have you seen him dance on Ellen? Listen to the mantric chant of the pitiful, malfunctioning automaton as he mutters submental Neanderthal slogans. Change, good. Hope, good. Personal responsibility and profits, bad. It's really no wonder he's such a hit on today's college campuses, where taut tummies and big shrines made of beer cans are the mode. You could make a pretty successful drinking game based on the man's political lingo. Every time Obama says change or hope, one must take a shot of tequila. Undoubtedly, we can expect a huge spike in alcohol-related deaths. Well, I say, good riddance. Down with the horde mind. I, as one of you only from a demographic perspective, am disgusted. Or maybe I'm just bitter. Bitter because I don't get it. I'm on the outside of a special moment in American history. I'm off the bus, so to speak. Too much of a crusty old curmudgeon to see the hope Barack Obama in fact personifies. Thankfully, I'm no dupe, and I can see past the charade, past the manufactured mystique and the tired liberal ideas of the 60s Obama has simply given a 21st century sheen. My vote won't be wasted on the likes of that phony. I urge you, too, to read up on the man and his promised policies. See the error of his ways, and vote for someone who upholds the virtues of small government and personal choice. Someone who will balance the needs for safety and security with our cherished beliefs in liberty and democracy. But most of all, someone who doesn't merely inspire the idea of change, but someone who is themselves a catalyst, a provocative iconoclast, a patriot, and an agitator. Someone who will annihilate the idea that government is invincible, and that change must only come in drips and ebbs. That is why I am endorsing myself for president. Please write me in on your ballots. Keep me in your hearts, out of your prayers, but in your dreams, both daily and nightly. God bless America. God bless your families. God bless you all. Back to Jim Mazner at headquarters.
Pick up your pants. They're falling off your feet today. I took a glance at what a car can hear me say. Don't you feel weird because you tried to make a mess? I
So, welcome back to Mouthwords. I'm Jim Mazner. This week on the community section of the show, we have Detroit band Benny Stoofy, a group made popular not only by their music, but also by their ever-growing home venue, Scrummage University. We have Alex Lauer here. Alex, welcome.
Hello. Nice to be here, Jim.
All right.
Mazner.
That's fine. So Benny Stoofy, that's an interesting name, and I know you have a wide variety of people in the band. Why don't you tell me about the origins of the band, also the people that are in it?
Okay. Benny Stoofy used to start out, we used to have, I'd say about maybe 5, almost 6 years ago, we started Scrummage Records, and while we started it, Benny Stoofy contacted us, and he sent us this weird letter that's like, hi, my name's Benny Stoofy, like, I'm the ruler of hell, like, blah, blah, I want to record this album, like, you guys have to do it. And there's like a picture of this like clown. He used to have, like, before he wore the clown mask, he wore like the zombie mask. So we thought it'd be cool to do the album with him, and it was the first album put out on Scrummage Records, other than the Scrummage self-titled album. And then he used to do these weird performances where it was just like this one guy and like distorted keyboard, and he'd like scream and people would fight. And then over the years he started having me and Connor do all this work for him, and then he kind of drifted off. Donovan Power's been in the band, Max Langendieppen's been in the band. The most recent lineup is Connor and I, Ben Christensen, Eric Chodoroff, and Antonio Manzari. And Dave Rosman has played with us as well. And also Katie Van Manen and Brittany Vadnak have also done backup singing with us. So that's kind of what's going on right now.
All right, great. Well, why don't you tell me a little bit about Scrummage? I know there's sort of a mythology behind that, so what's up with that?
Scrummage it's like the name of our collective, our venue, our record label, and the name is from this robot who's from the future, named Lord Scrummage, and he like tells us what's up, like, you know, in our brains, and he's a really cool guy and helps us with everything.
All right, that's great. All right, so what's coming up next for you guys and for Scrummage?
Well, we've had this venue for a couple of years now. We've been having a lot of shows at it,
Right.
And we are moving at the moment. We're going to be in our new place on March 1st. Our first show is March 1st. A band called Extra Life from New York. It's Charlie Looker from the Z's, his new band, and it's pretty cool. With the Lobotomies and Prussia and Synthetic Army, which is all local music. And we're just going to be kicking out the shows there like nonstop. It's at this huge toy factory. Everyone who comes to the show is going to be able to park in this safe lot. It's in Detroit. We're going to be helping out the city. It's going to be good fun.
Great. That sounds fantastic. All right. Well, this has been Alex Lauer, and this is Benny Stoofy. Alex, can you give us a hint of what we're going to be listening to?
All kinds of stuff. Like what's Benny Stoofy?
Right.
Oh,
right.
yeah. It's amazing, powerful, spiritual sounds that will help you with your everyday life.
Well, I must say I'm entranced. Thank you very much for being here, Alex.
Yes, thanks, Jim Mazner. Kill Yourself, July 17th, 2010.
Okay, I will.
Wonder what's going to happen to your friends when they cry. If you're walking on the road and you need a friend to help you die, it's okay, that's good.
Jokes
by Jim Byjim.
Where do clowns go when they get depressed? The skychiatrist. What did the king's wife blow her nose with? Queenex.
We have exclusive breaking news out of East Lansing, Michigan. Now, there's not much information, and details are kind of sketchy. But Okay, it seems we're going to go live now to East Lansing with Mouthwords contributor, sociologist Dr. Chip Richie on the phone. Chip, are you there?
Dude, I'm at a party. It's crazy, dude.
Tell me what's going on, Chip. What are you seeing exactly?
There's chicks everywhere, and I was following a chick, and I went to a bathroom, and dude, I'm so lost. It's crazy here, man. Oh, I love it here. It's crazy in this town. Oh my God, I'm so drunk right now. Holy shit.
Now, what exactly is the situation, Chip? We need a little bit more information than that. I understand that you're in a difficult, maybe dangerous situation, but details are what we need. What exactly is happening?
Oh God, dude, this is the best time I've ever had. And I'm at East Lansing. I'm in a party, and chicks everywhere. I love it.
Well, experts have been expecting something like this. Tensions have been boiling over since the colonialist era. Now, I hear students are on the street. There's talk about Dane Cook taking power in a military junta with the support of Seth Green and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Wait, Chip, is that Journey that I hear in the background?
Dude, I don't know, dude. I'm fucking drunk right now, so all I know is maybe I'll burn a couch or something. I mean, everyone's getting a little rowdy, so I think I'm gonna go outside and, I don't know, maybe do something crazy, because it's crazy here.
Now, what are the constitutionalists asking for, Chip? We've heard a lot of off-the-records comments about parliamentary reforms, a press towards puritanical Jeffersonian democracy, or maybe a bit more, a move towards some sort of postmodern, socialist, ultra-statist government.
Dude, all I know is there's chicks everywhere. You guys gotta come, it's crazy.
All right, Doctor, thank you. Keep us updated.
All right, Jim.
That was Dr. Chip Richie, sociologist at the Annapolis Naval Academy and author of Dr. Party, the college-educated mixologist. Stay tuned to Mouthwords for more information.
This is Me Eat Food with Kevin Singer. Well, Jim Mazner and I ate dinner at the Ivanhoe Polish Yacht Club the other night with Jim Byjim to discuss this week's show. The unassuming red brick building is in an especially desolate area of Detroit, which adds to the secret society feel of this cozy little nook in this crazy big world. Jim Byjim and I had the perch, which was, to say the least, a more than modest portion of thinly sliced, succulent, and pan-fried slices of little fishy flesh. I only glanced at the lunch menu, but there seemed to be a wide array of sandwiches and burgers that certainly serve as an enticing enough reason for me to make a second trip out to the middle of nowhere. However, on the downside, it's a touch on the pricey side. The mean age of the customers seemed to be about 300 years old, and Jim Mazner was asked to remove his hat upon entering, revealing a rapidly receding hairline that threatens to strip him of his machismo status. On the whole, it has a timeless ambiance. I felt like a somebody eating there, with portraits of supposed club commodores posted on the wall and several glossies of the erstwhile Holy Father, John Paul II, hovering above me. I couldn't help but feel a part of something universal, Catholic, dogmatic, authoritarian, despotic, and delicious. The Ivanhoe Polish Yacht Club can be found at 5249 Jost Campow in Detroit. That's 5 as in 5, 2 as in 2, 4 as in 4, 9 as in 9, Jost Campow, Detroit, Michigan. Hey Jim, what's that tiny country wedged between India and Myanmar, Burma?
Bangladesh?
Yes, that's the one. And oh boy, did the good people at Hamtramck's world-renowned Aladdin's restaurant know how to make affordable and delicious Indo-Bang cuisine. I can only speak to the vegetable biryani and chicken tandoori, but for a single 5 spot and a penny pouch of change, you can eat like Lajoon Ahmed, Bangladesh's adorable president. Careful, President Ahmed, you just had a triple bypass. Charming Bangladeshi tourism ephemera on the walls, and all the waiters wear a goofy tooth snarl that belies second-generation levels of American intelligence and precociousness. Make sure you order one of their coffees, which is saturated with cream, sugar, and infused with what tastes, and I hope is, chocolate.
Well, as usual, Kevin, your clever prose only serves as a mask for your underlying lack of taste.
Wait a minute, buddy.
You wouldn't know good Indian food if one of the cats they keep in Aladdin's kitchen came out and yacked it on your plate.
Hey, what'd you say?
Gandhi's is the place for me, and it's not just the nonviolent atmosphere. The chicken is tender and, well, it's chicken. The rice is served with a pinch of dried onions on the top, and dishes are always served timely and piping hot. Ghandi is slightly more expensive than Aladdin's, but that's the price you pay for food that's not scraped from a dumpster. $7 entrees and $2 appetizers are Ghandi staples, and you'll never find quieter service. She's a mute! As our friend Miley Cyrus says, that's the best of both worlds.
Well, whatever Jim may think, despite the derision, Aladdin's can be found at 11945 Conant Street in Hamtramck, Michigan. That's 11945 Conant Street in Hamtramck, Michigan. Gandhi's can also be found on Conant, just a hop, skip, and a jump down the block from Aladdin's.
Well, thanks, Kev, I guess. That was Me Eat Food with Kevin Singer.
Son of a bitch.
And this is Mouthwords.
Say what you want, I won't believe the possibility of ripping off your skull and staying alive. If you dream of swimming and dying on the floor, oh, go to
The Space Shuttle Atlantis returned to Earth on Wednesday, touching down at the Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral, Florida after a quote-unquote successful mission, expanding the size of the already enormous International Space Station by hauling a European laboratory up there and sticking it on the side. This recent mission highlights inevitable changes that must be made to the space program. The department is at a crossroads. The Shuttle Atlantis will be retired after 2010, and the new vehicle, Orion, will not be available until 2014 at the earliest. This comes at a time when NASA's popularity is at an all-time low. Big budget issues, such as homeland security and defense spending, are squeezing NASA out, and it responds with accidents and stubbornness. In 2003, the shuttle Columbia disintegrated on re-entry, and America mourned the crew. Unless significant changes are made, Washington belt-tightening, sure to come with the next president, may force America to mourn the space program itself. NASA is at a serious disadvantage behind other major departments in the U.S. government, and even behind its more adventurous past. Scientific experimentation makes a poor showing on the news. You can't plant a flag in a petri dish or bounce off a moonlander onto atmospherical reports. Well, actually, I suppose you could do both of those things, but that doesn't make any difference. The average American wonders what the program does for them, and unlike the Defense Department, they can't hold up a series of extremely popular and successful foreign military operations as justification for their budget, or their existence. It's easy to hide behind scientific advancement as some sort of edifying high ground, but it's not terribly effective. NASA's budget is $16.25 billion a year. It's actually not that much, about 0.5% of the budget, and about 30 plus times smaller than the budget for the Department of Homeland Security. But in a vacuum, $16 billion is a lot of cash. If this money was spent wisely, this may not be an issue, but as you can imagine, everything that they do costs a lot of money, compounded by mistake after mistake. It costs millions every time they attempt a shuttle launch, and they need near-perfect weather and conditions to do it. This is a huge aircraft designed to ride giant rocket engines through the atmosphere and withstand the elements of deep space, only return under unbelievable pressure and speed. But it can't get wet, I guess. They also make major PR blunders. Remember that crazy diaper-wearing astronaut that drove cross-country to kidnap some woman? Another huge blunder, and another example of monetary inefficiency, came in the form of Christina McAuliffe. In 1986, the US government planned to send this woman, a teacher, into orbit. This is a big deal. First teacher in space, they said. This probably costs, adjusting for inflation, like $100 billion. And what exactly was she going to do up there? Who was she going to teach? There's nobody up there. I have a feeling the whole mission involved her going up there and floating around. Well, thankfully, it never came to that. Karma caught up to Miss McAuliffe, and she and the entire crew were incinerated in the Challenger explosion. A good example of some pretty great things the space program has the ability to accomplish when they allocate their resources correctly. Who doesn't like seeing space shuttles blowing up? Well, besides Cindy McAuliffe, I guess. Despite past failures, the space program could have a productive and essential role in the future. This week, the Department of Defense shot down a spy satellite using newly christened missile defense system, setting off a round of grumblings and chest-thumping by rusty warmongers, Russia and China. They're vehemently opposed to the weaponization of space, and claim that the U.S. is making advancements in this area. Advancements? Apparently they are not familiar with our space program. Hit films like Star Wars and Battlefield Earth have glamorized space weapon technology, but more practical ideas tend to be a bit more pragmatic. They basically involve equipping satellites to launch and guide missiles from orbit, but like any great arms race, the technology will evolve at a rapid pace to outstrip opponents, real or imaginary. The claim that space weaponization will result in massive proliferation is a valid one. This may be just what the space program needs, a slice of practicality combined with the illusory, combined with the absurd. In the world of geopolitics, competition can only lend legitimacy to bloated, ill-equipped, and grossly inefficient government programs.
Jokes
by Jim Byjim.
Where do space cadets do their social networking? Spacebook! I can do it. What do you call it when you perform oral sex on a woman in a tunnel? Tunnelingus.
Don't fall asleep while you are cooking your food. Pick on that kid. He is being so rude.
Well, thanks for joining us this time on Mouthwords. Next week, we have a piece from Tufts Daily reporter Nate Grubman, a new musical guest, and we also reveal how to get high through headphones over the internet. All that and more next time on Mouthwords. Well, this show is produced by Alex Weiner, Kevin Singer, and myself, along with contributions from David Berg and Chad Silbert. All the music used throughout the show has been by Benny Stoofy. Check out scrummage.net for upcoming Benny Stoofy shows and other Scrummage events and news, including information about their recent relocation. The show has been brought to you by generous donations by the Wayne State University United Student Community for the Redeintegration of Popular Civil Initiatives, USCRPCI. We're doing something.
Why does everything look like a rock I found in my front yard? If it calls for a meeting of the plants you love, you can believe there's space in your sleeve. Go down in the middle if you see a some of your favorite stuff for you. I don't care what it's gonna do. If one time it goes across the roof of the Marriott Hotel, that's where I met Bob. And there's a Bob saying, hey, don't you look at that silver, boy. Today. Ow! If I won't get one more question, I get a good time. If you want to see, it's gonna happen to everyone. You gotta know, if there's a bomb, you gotta hide in the snow. Don't see in the forest with the bushes and the squirrels. Roll that road. I ain't afraid. I'm afraid of nothing. Ain't afraid of nothing. Ain't afraid of nothing. Yeah. What you gonna do when I'm full of you? Ain't gonna see me smiling. Yeah. I'm smiling. Smile in your face. I make you happy. Make you happy. Make you happy. Make you happy. Gonna have a good time. Maybe get a sandwich at the store. Nice cold drink too. Ow! What's gonna do? I'm next to him. He's in the garbage can. What you gonna get in there? Maybe something smelly or in your hair. Yeah, that's right.
Do British people call astronauts astronauts, or do they call them something else?